Sir, is he allowed to be in here?
And this is also recorded in case he did anything.
Y'all still my shit, watch. Black right there. Just get out with a nail.
Hello again, everyone. In this episode, shocking as it seems, you're going to see Manor police officer, Officer Pettersen, commit burglary while in uniform, trespass on posted private property, no trespassing posted property without a warrant, provide illegal enforcement services to a vandal who had intentionally destroyed an apartment, and in the provision of those illegal enforcement services, help this person to re-enter the unit that they had been evicted from and steal from us. You'll see him attempt to fail to identify himself and withhold his identity when requested to do so. You're also going to see all four of the officers who responded to a major incident for almost an hour conspire to destroy evidence, commit failure to file their police reports, obstruction of justice, conspiracy to obstruct justice, their abuse of official capacity, even their commanding officer participating in instructing them not to file police reports, and in the damaging of a citizen's Fourth Amendment rights to security of property and person, and also 14th Amendment rights to equal protection under the law. This is a shocking episode. It's also quite long, so grab yourself a drink, strap in, and let's go. This all started when a woman booked a stay for 2 nights for 1 person and 2 dogs. Our rules are very clear. You cannot leave dogs unattended unless they are in crates. However, when she arrived, she had 5 people and not enough room for the crates. So the next morning when their family left to go to a safari park for the day, they left both dogs, both with black fur, outside on a 2nd floor balcony with no shade. We made every effort to reach them by phone, text, email, and message for the better part of 8 hours. The dogs were first violently rained on, and then, of course, the sun came out and baked them. They were howling and screaming and crying, and eventually we had no choice but to rescue them. When the family came home, they were not thankful for this. They verbally assaulted us using obscene language. Based on their actions and their comments, we didn't feel comfortable for them to stay any longer, and we evicted them. They argued with us for 2 hours, and during that time, they destroyed the apartment. The only thing worse than them rubbing human and dog feces and a toddler's diaper into the carpets and urinating on the floors in front of their own children was the appalling behavior of the Manor Police Department in response to this incident, which made it much, much worse.
Travis County 911, do you need police, fire, or EMS?
Police.
What location?
It's in Manor. I'm at one intersection that's 1 block due south of City Hall, next to the Mexican restaurant that's under construction. Take this plate number, please.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, and what is this going to be in reference to?
Physical threats of personal violence, property damage over $10,000,
I'm sorry.
and animal cruelty.
Were these threats made towards you?
Towards me, ma'am, yes.
Okay, and do you have a description of the person who's driving it? Because, I mean, I don't want you to place yourself in danger, but if you have a description...
No, I won't.
Okay, I don't want you trying to, like, find this vehicle if there was some sort of threat.
Yeah, no, that's the plate number. Give me a moment. I'll give you the names of the perps as well.
Okay.
It's a 2014 Toyota Camry.
Hold on. So do you have a description of the person that was driving the vehicle?
I do, ma'am. It's been a long time for me. And I flagged down one of your officers who I assuming was responding to this call.
Okay.
I do have a copy of the
person now?
I am, yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. I'm going to let you go so that you can talk to the officer.
You bet. Thank you.
So we were getting ready to leave the apartment, and the guy pretty much blocked us in and chased us. I don't know how long it was. It felt like forever, but it was probably like 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay.
I have 3 small children in the car, my dogs and my husband, and we are scared. We're not from here. I'm from New York. was so angry. Like,
Who was he angry about?
huh?
What was he angry about?
So I don't know. Like,
My name is Clyde Lockwood Smith. I'm a maintenance contractor doing work at Pecan Place Condos in Manor, Texas. On Monday, the 31st of May, I arrived on the property at 10 o'clock in the morning, and the two dogs were on the veranda in Unit D upstairs.
How
And
could you see the back of the building where the dogs were?
I delivered the tub through the back gate.
Okay, I think we have video of that. So yeah.
Through the rear entrance. And during the entire time that I was here, up until 4 p.m., the dogs were still on the veranda.
Okay, thank you, sir.
My name's Angela Nevels. I stayed in the unit upstairs prior to the other people being here, and then later moved to the downstairs unit.
How did you book with us?
Oh, through Airbnb.
Okay, and this is the same unit that we just had the crazy guest in.
Yes.
You also have a dog right
I
there.
do.
What do you think of that balcony up there? Would you put your dog out on that balcony?
I absolutely would not. I let him out there one day for about 15 minutes, and it was so hot. There's zero shade on the balcony, so the sun just beats directly down onto the balcony.
So that day on Monday, when you tried to go out with Snuffy and you couldn't, what was that reason for that?
I couldn't take Snuffy out for almost the entire day because the other dogs upstairs kept barking at him and distracting him from what he was outside to do. So.
Honestly, I hate to pull the race card, but I feel like this is some discriminatory type of situation. I booked this Airbnb up until tomorrow at 11 a.m. There was no issue, really. I felt like things got weird after he asked me to send him a photocopy of my driver's license and whoever the adults that were going to be at the place. So I sent myself and my husband, and then communication was a little weird after that. But
So again, she's lying. We knew that she was black right from the moment that she initially made her booking. You can see right here on her profile, it has a profile picture for her. And the very idea that someone who, I mean, she wouldn't know that I grew up in the Congo and still speak some Swahili, and that was my primary language of communication for a good part of my life. But yeah, the idea is a joke. Not only that, but when she arrived, you'll see we have communications with her, welcoming her. Let us know if you need anything. Lots of smiley faces and general niceness and so on. Again, she's just making things up.
today we decided to bring the kids to the safari. I don't know the area. I think it's like San Marcos area. There's like a drive-through safari. We took them there.
Again, this simply isn't true. Here we have a copy of Stacy's inquiry to us before she even booked, where she asked how far away San Antonio was, and the next screen shows our response telling her that it's an hour away. She knew exactly how far the distance was before she ever made the booking.
We left the two. I have a little 6-month-old German Shepherd and a smaller dog. Left them on the porch with food and water. We were only supposed to be gone a couple hours, and it was cloudy, so we figured it's not going to be hot. We looked at the weather forecast, and it was fine.
She deliberately abandoned those dogs out on that balcony with no intention of returning for at least 8 to 10 hours and just hoped that everything would work out all right. And very, very obviously, it did not.
I get a text message from him saying if I don't answer the phone right now that he's going to call animal protect or whatever, those animal people that come. So I mean, I called him immediately because I had no idea what was going on. I guess he was trying to reach me, but I had no service there, like no reception out there.
Right.
We obviously do love animals, but pets and service animals are not allowed at the wildlife ranch for the safety of your animals and the safety of ours.
That's why they stayed with us.
Appreciate you calling and have a wildly adventurous day.
Because they had to stay someplace that would let them host animals.
Thank you for calling Dr. Bridge Wildlife Range. How can I help you?
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Good. I just wanted to touch base. Yeah, I'm just basically asking if cell phones work at the ranch is basically what I'm asking. Or if you guys are in it.
Yeah.
They do. Okay. Awesome.
I called him and was like, hey, what's going on? Are the dogs, first thing I say is, are the dogs okay? He says, yeah, but not really. I'm like, what happened? He's like, oh, they were out there barking. I let them in, though. I had to let them in. First of all, you weren't supposed to go in my apartment without my...
Nope. According to the Airbnb terms of service, the host retains the right to enter the accommodation during the stay to the extent that it is reasonably necessary. And I think you letting your dogs get burned to death on the balcony makes it reasonably necessary.
I understand, like, you being worried about the dogs, but there was nothing wrong with the dogs. He started talking about heat stroke. It was raining off and on today. Right. It was just a whole lot of nonsense.
So first of all, according to the National Weather Service, the historical data for that day, there was a storm between 8 and 9, so the dogs got soaked on the balcony. And then the sun came out, temperature spiked to 89 degrees, and they got roasted for about 6 hours. Hello? 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 Nobody's here. 2 dogs left outside. No shelter. In direct sunshine. And the owner is refusing to answer my calls. No one's here.
Like, he just didn't want us there to begin with, to be honest with you, and this was just a reason to get us out.
I got you.
No. We wanted them out because when they finally did return home 10 hours after they left, instead of coming down and expressing any kind of thankfulness that we rescued their dogs, this happened.
I feel mad at myself for even explaining myself. For even fucking explaining myself.
Hey, my friend.
Yeah.
Was it you that we spoke to on the call?
It was.
Okay. So we just wanted to talk about that.
All right.
What happened. So first and foremost,
let's go upstairs inside so we're not ate by mosquitoes.
Okay. Let's do that.
All right. Come on. Hey, buddy.
I'm not gonna talk inside because my children are there. So.
All right, well, you can write whatever you want to say. All right.
I don't do well with threats, so if you wanted to call animal control or whoever it is that you wanted to call, you could have done that. These dogs are not mistreated.
No,
these dogs are not being mistreated, and you're being an asshole. Like, we literally.
I understand. You're a host now. I told you I wanted to come and talk.
So if the dogs tear up your shit or shit all over your place, that's on you.
We literally did that as a courtesy.
That's literally on you. That's on you, motherfucker.
No, you talk to her. You talk to me.
That's on you.
You talk to me.
That's on motherfucking you.
Okay.
It doesn't fucking matter. You talk to me, you talk to him. You talk to call them.
Whatever you want.
Call them.
You can call whatever you want.
Call them.
I'm telling you, you talk to me.
No, let him call them.
Fuck you too.
Let him call them. Let him call. They cannot. We booked here. They cannot.
Hello, sir. Could you identify yourself for us, please?
Cody Allen Galbraith.
How did you meet us?
My wife booked the unit upstairs, and that's where we met you and your wife.
That's the same unit where we had the problem tenants recently.
Yes.
You have a dog too, right?
Correct.
Would you leave your dog on that balcony?
No, there is no cover. Very, very harmful for a dog.
Okay. What did you yourself view personally later when you got home?
Later when I got home, overheard some loud shouting, looked out the window, saw 2 people on the stairs, aggressively, verbally shouting at William, using explicit language.
Like what? What were some of the things they were saying?
Calling him a motherfucker, and telling him to fuck off.
Yep.
And that's when I was prepared to go outside to assist.
So in what capacity would you have assisted?
I'm just de-escalating the situation.
But what would be your qualifications for wanting to assist in that regard?
previous law enforcement professional.
Okay, so in your opinion as an LEO, how do you think that William handled that situation?
Perfectly. De-escalated the situation by stepping away from them, letting the situation diffuse until later hearing more noise coming from the outside.
Okay, and so you currently, after going elsewhere, you've decided that you want to come back and stay at Pecan Place.
Yes.
Why would you do that?
Great host, great location, treated well.
So the people that are going to view this video are the people who are resolving this issue for Airbnb. They're going to maybe think that I put you up to this, or paid you, or something like that.
No.
Okay. All right, Cody. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Obviously, at that point, we were very concerned about the state of the apartment and no longer comfortable hosting them. So we terminated their stay, both via text and through the Airbnb messaging platform. They refused to leave. We argued for 2 hours via text and messaging. And during that time, they destroyed the apartment. So they argued with us for 2 hours instead of leaving, and they could have been home in 2.5 to where they live in Houston. During that time, they destroyed the apartment. And finally, we sent a text saying that since they were now trespassers and had no right to be on the property, that we had called our patrol company and that a tow truck was on the way to take their car. That's when we heard all of the taps in the unit above us where they were staying open, but we didn't hear any water coming down the drains and figured out immediately that they were trying to flood the building. I went up and entered the unit just in time to prevent that from happening. We have photos of that coming shortly for you. I also found Stacy in the process of shoveling human and dog feces and leftover pasta into the washing machine. More extensive information about the damage they did is coming soon as well. But while I was going around shutting off the taps, they ran out, jumped in their car, smashed into ours, drove across the neighbor's lawn and through a ditch in order to try and flee the scene of an accident and escape criminal responsibility for all the damage that they had done in our rental unit.
Now I'm displaced. Now I'm trying to get back to Houston with 3 small children. We didn't hate to pull the race card, but it feels like it because we did nothing to him. Right. So as I'm getting ready to gather my belongings, I have my baby in the hand. I got scared. I'm like, Josh. I'm thinking it's my husband. It was the guy. And I'm like, he has like knives and stuff on the wall. I'm like thinking. Concerned about animals, and I love animals. There's no way I was hurting animals.
Okay.
We also, I don't know if you heard, but we have one of our large suitcases still there. We thought that we grabbed it, but in the panic, we left it. So could we get a police escort to go get my belongings?
10 and 4. They'll be heading that way in just a sec. In a dark gray Toyota Camry.
Alright, cool. Yeah, just tell them for their hazards on. I'm right at the place anyway, so I'll just come over there right first.
You go tell them that.
Now, as for the alleged damage that you're saying is thousands and thousands of dollars, that is a civil matter that you can go after or civilly, but the police officers we will not be assisting you with that. So the other party is wanting to pick up a piece of luggage that they left, and they requested officers to stand by at the address. All right. So we will be out like we did back in the summer, where we're going to sit out there in the driveway. We're not going to go inside the residence. We're not going to go inside the residence. We're not going to go inside the residence.
I have personally wheeled the guests' remaining possessions out to the side of the road. There's footage coming of that shortly. I left it directly in front of Officers Pettersen and Stone. Despite that fact, Pettersen convinced or asked the rest of the other officers to shut off their body and dash cams. We have copies of all of that footage showing that they all shut them off simultaneously. We even have one officer who was dumb enough to get caught saying that she was shutting it off. And then Pettersen walked right past a no trespassing sign, escorting the person who had destroyed the apartment back into it without our permission, without our consent, so that he could steal from us some more.
So, and it's my German Shepherd. I love that. Like, there's nothing I'm not gonna do to the door. So there's no way I'm gonna leave my door house. Right. So, like, listen, if you don't do this, I'm gonna call animal control. If you don't come get your dogs.
Okay. I'm talking like I'm gonna assault you.
No, yeah, no, that kind of stuff, right? So
he might have locked you, so you may have to ask him to let you in.
Oh, I mean,
I would assume. I mean, you can knock, but he might be in like his home suite. Because I saw the lights on.
yeah, no, I mean, listen, we still got. Oh, there you go. He turned the lights on.
Yes, sir. I'm not going in because it's private property, so you're gonna have to speak up.
Oh, is it down here? Is it? Because we're from New York, right? In New York, you can't sell milk. Tenant, landlord cannot do this.
Right, but because it's commercial, it's different. We're not gonna go inside the residence, so we evicted them. Okay.
So we can see that Officer Pettersen knew that the tenant had been evicted and had no right to be on the property. And yet he still decided to ask his other officers to shut off their body cameras, to hide him entering the property illegally without the benefit or protection of a court order and in direct violation of the law, to help someone who he knew had caused damage to the unit and who had been evicted and had no right to be on the property to re-enter the unit, and then to help that person remove items from the unit that they had no right to and that there was no court order providing protection for them to remove. He then deprived us of our right to review those items and to make sure that nothing of ours was being taken, and escorted the criminal back off of the property, in the process becoming a criminal himself.
Sir, is he allowed to be in here?
He's asking to get all of it. He's asking to check and make sure. Hold on. Remember what I said, we're all going to be polite here. He asked to make sure they get everything out before he left.
Yep.
Or just make sure it doesn't take
Daughter
anything.
sneakers.
And this is also recorded in case he did any damage.
Yep, my dog bowl.
And if there is
with dog
damage
water.
or anything missing,
Civil. I'll explain that to Mr. Owner.
You want me to give you my lawyer card, man? I can give you my lawyer card.
Come on, no, hey, we are not going down this path. For the love of God.
You're right, bro.
We're going to keep it polite.
That's on me.
It's about to be pissing rain, and I'm going to walk like half a mile to my car, and I really don't want to.
I got
You asked to make sure you had all your belongings,
Right.
and then we're going to close the door because this is their property. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you. We're good?
You're good.
My German Shepherd is safe, my man. Thank you.
Officer? Yes, sir, Mr. Wilner.
Yeah, I'm gonna just need to ask you for your card real quick.
I believe I've already given you a card, Mr. Wilner.
I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. What's your name?
Officer Pettersen.
Thank you.
Struble also tried to impede the course of justice by putting some sort of a clear container, most likely Tupperware, over the camera that was used in his interview with Officer Pettersen, thereby rendering the video blurry and the sound almost completely inaudible and certainly unintelligible. This is a disgusting old school trick that's used by crooked cops everywhere when they're trying to cover their butts. The following is a sample of the footage that we received in response to our Freedom of Information Act request. As you'll see, it was utterly incomprehensible before we hired a professional editor to work on recovering and reconstituting the audio for us.
So you don't remember any extreme damage done, Robert?
To the best of my recollection, I don't remember any extreme damage or any violence.
And just so that I'm kind of clear on the way things went down.
Sir, is he allowed to be in here?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's happening? Okay, it was a very cordial, very few words spoken. There was no objections.
Sir, is he allowed to be in here?
We're not going to go inside the residence.
Mr. Wallner never objected him coming back and getting
I don't recall him. I think he was down there. His wife came up and said, hey, you know what's going on? I think she's trying to be a buffer, and it's okay. She's getting stuff for leaving.
Sir, is he allowed to be in here?
I did not see any visible damage when I walked up the stairs.
The problem with this statement from Officer Pettersen is that the portion of his body cam footage, which showed or would have showed at least the living room of the apartment in all of its disarray and destruction,
And this is also recorded in case there's any damage.
was not given to us. We submitted a Freedom of Information Act request, and we only were given his body cam footage up to moments prior to him leaving his cruiser and helping himself back onto our property. The footage from the moment that he left his cruiser is gone. We never got it. And this, combined with the fact that he asked his fellow officers to shut off their cams, clearly suggests that he was hoping to sneak onto our property and help a vandal steal from us again and escape without getting caught. It's only because we had our own security cameras that we were able to catch him in the act.
And this is also recorded in case there's any damage.
We requested the missing information and evidence and footage from City Hall under our Freedom of Information Act request. And the email that we received back said that Manor Police Department stated that they had already given us all available evidence and footage related to that incident. Our specific request for incident reports was denied, and they responded that no incident reports had been written. This is truly bizarre, given that there were 4 responding officers to an incident in multiple locations, 3 different locations, and not for over the course of an hour, almost an hour, and not one of them filed a report. This is nonsense. And it clearly goes against any sort of rational policing policy. The real problem with that is that we needed those reports to file insurance claims and also to take legal action against Dorlius and Brutus for the damage that they had done in our rental unit.
And then I think that's when he said, like, hey, I want to press charges, blah, 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 I don't think he ever said anything about arrest.
And the damages that were done to the, would you all reference to him as civil as well?
We reference everything civil.
No report was written for this incident, right? Or
no, correct. I did not believe one. I did not know.
Okay. And what was your, let's see how to phrase this, I guess reasoning for not doing a report, or?
The reason for it was we had a peace resolution. We didn't want to make things worse. Then one of the charges are pressed on one party. Then she said, then, well, they did this. No, we encourage Mr. Wilner to take the civil process.
So what can I do for you, Mr. Wilner?
We just had some people who flooded an apartment and who then tried to elicit threats of violence and who drove across the neighbor's yard and across our yard trying to make an escape. I got that plate number. I was calling it into dispatch. I have copies of their driver's licenses as well, and which are very welcome too.
I'm good. So Right, so the flooding of the apartment, that's a civil matter that you need to take up with them. He's alleging that they did $10,000 worth of damage or something. And I said, that's a civil matter because you're a landlord.
Yeah.
And
so I guess he said, I'm evicting you, which he has the right to do because he's the hotel owner and they are just guests.
he's saying that they caused more than $10,000 worth of damage from being renters. I'm not sure how educated with the law that you are, but if you're calling and putting somebody in fear that you're following them, that's not exactly a wise life choice. Okay?
I apologize, sir. I have a record on my phone.
I'm not concerned with the record that you have.
The person who initiated the 911 call.